Today we're going to go through a portion of the Tailor XA to meet your business needs presentation that I did at the inPower 2023 conference, XA user conference. And so this was about replacing a custom distribution system. We had multiple issues. We had, it was based in green screen. There was programs to fix programs to fix programs. I think all said and done, we were looking at 150 programs that made up this custom system. There's inconsistent updates happening to XA files. We used it for 2 of our 3 product lines. We had to constantly do DBU updates to manipulate allocations and update records within this distribution system. And users didn't have the ability to maintain their orders or their pick lists or, delete line items for that matter if a customer canceled. So this is a view of the distribution system interface. On the left side is where they would assign allocations or remove allocations. So basically they'd run a pick list in XA. After a customer order came in, it would move it to this allocation screen. And then they would start allocating these records to what we call drop numbers, which is on the right side. And the drop represented a shipment, so a truck, and they would process pick lists and then shipping all within this distribution system. So my approach was to interview the users in each department, see how they use the data, listen to what they needed, take advantage, and I took advantage of an existing soft allocation program that we used for the third product line that wasn't on this distribution system. So I marketed the idea around for available to promise, talked about how much better it was than hard allocations and how much more flexible it was. And we needed to be flexible because we had last minute changes to shipments based on newly available inventory or customer requests, or we had 2 customer orders for different customers and we had to split what we had between the 2 to keep them running. So we had to be able to change on a moment's notice. So my requirements, as I set out, were the ability to lump customer order line items together for multiple orders. And I might ship 2 from this order, 2 from that order, 1 from the other order. I had to have a way for multiple departments to use the same data, and a way for CO line items to be partially shipped on different loads with different carriers. So I might only ship 3 this time, I ship 4 next time on a different truckload. I needed a method of allocation that was a lot simpler and didn't need as much tweaking and DBU changes to keep it accurate. So my solution was all customers ATP, available to promise workspace, and ready to schedule workspace for logistics, ready to pick workspace for shipping, pick list workspace for each area of shipping. So we had 3 product lines, 3 areas, daily shipments workspace for all areas, and an invoicing, processing, shipping, review workspace for accounting. So basically we wrapped everything from customer order all the way through invoice generation, all through native XA. Here's a view of all customers ATP that customer service would use. To the right side of the screen you have blue and gray columns. The first column on the left is ship code, and that was replacing what they called drops in the previous system. So it was a number that we got assigned into user field code B on customer order line items. When we had a little action item up on the toolbar that we could select a chunk of them, click the action bar, and it would assign the next consecutive number to that whole lump of data. So, and you could skip lines, You know, you didn't have to select just one full chunk. You hold the control key and you select individual records. And then you did the same thing with a ship date, which we also entered so that it would determine how it fell into the schedule of when things were shipping. And now order lines ready to schedule was what the logistics person used for scheduling trucks. And you see on the left side it's sorted with by date and ship code, and they're color coded in chunks together by ship code. So, and then we tailored this view to be what logistics information they needed. They needed to know weights and quantities and everything so that they can figure out how much a truck would weigh so they could schedule a shipment, get with a carrier and get everything arranged. Then we had order lines ready to pick is what the shipping group used. And same idea, sorted by date and ship code. They had their one chunk. They had green column in the center would show if that was soft allocated to. Based on the allocation program, it would update a user code field and show here. You see next to the ship code column, there is a column with red triangles and exclamation points. Those are what we called hot items, and we wanted them to show up here whether they had an allocation or not. So we used user code field C, and customer service would go in on the customer order line item and put the word hot in that field. And using presentation schemes, we would have it show up here in the alert column. So shipping would then take and select one color code chunk, because that's one ship code, do their file host job, and run their pick list. Go do their picking process, and then move on to the pick list workspace. And the pick list workspace, here's, you have a PowerLink version with the drill down to a compound card. So you double click on the pick list, it opens a separate card. Again, we use presentation schemes where it's comparing the pick list item file with the pick pack ship file to make sure confirm quantities match, and it picks up batch lot and make sure the allocations look correctly. So if something doesn't jive out, it shows up red so they can go back and review it. And using these compound cards is a great way to replace needing a workbench. And it looks even better when you get over to Netlink, because you can have a split screen and it's all on one screen. So as they click down the pick list on the left, the right window updates, and you can look at the next one. And now when it comes time to ship, they would highlight their pick list there, right click, generate shipment, fill in the information for the shipment, and off it goes. And then we have the daily shipments workspace. So these are all the shipped items. And you're looking at the shipped items window here. And these are all the items that shipped, and you have their ship code and pick list are related to, and I have a compound card with a split view where I can see the shipment details, the pick list details, a list card of what pick lists are on that shipment, and then we used license plates with our third-party scanning software, and it'll show up what license plates shipped on there as well. And then when I got onto the accounting team to do their invoicing, we again have the color codes blocked together by ship code. Those are all the items to ship together. And so if they were to double click into the drill down or do the split view, they see the shipped item on top, and then they can add special charges or surcharges down here at the bottom. You don't have to leave this screen. They can add it all from this screen. because when you use list cards, you can do any of the normal functions you can do within that business object right from the card inside the other business object. So they update all they need to do. They would come here, they would highlight that chunk, generate invoice, and it goes off and runs invoices just in standard XA. And of course, once they invoice, it falls off the list. So how I executed this, I used workspaces, views, subsets, sorts, and combinations, presentation schemes, and compound cards. So I'm gonna stop here before I go on with the workspace design. I'm actually going to pick that up in another session. But I wanted to explain that looking at the workspaces, everything from customer ATP, customer services ATP screen, through the logistics scheduling and the ready to pick screen, that was all custom order line item. They used all the same view. It was just laid out specific to that user group, and everything was color coded to lump stuff together. And surprisingly, that was the selling point to all of this, is that it was color coded and easily identifiable that they went together. And then your pick list screen workspace uses pick list item, and then your daily shipments in your accounting screen used ship items. So they all use the same chunks of data through each step of the process. It's just tailored specifically to that user group's needs. And so that's how I replaced a custom distribution system using native XA and still giving them functionality and look and feel similar to what they were used to doing for that business process. And and it stemmed off to allow a lot of other things to come about along with it. Thank you for viewing. I will pick up another video here with workspace design, presentation schemes, and some example of different kinds of fun ways I've centralized data. So tune in again. Thank you.